and it has 54,000 signatures. 102 MPs from all political parties have signed our early day motion. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever why the government cannot implement that demand. We did some research recently with Gorvin solicitors, which showed that 14% of women who have encountered discrimination could not raise a tribunal claim because of the time limit. And when less than 1% of women raise a tribunal claim, that's a massive, massive amount. So that's the first demand that we all need to get behind. Second demand is to require companies to report on how many flexible working requests are made and how many are granted. We all know what a problem flexible working is. We all know that companies should be doing this. It makes sense for them and for us. It makes absolutely no sense that they're not trying to implement flexible working, as Anna explained. Third is give both parents access to 6 weeks non-transferable parental leave and 90% of salary. This is so important. Both parents to have equal rights from the outset. Why is childcare a woman's responsibility? Men want to look after their children. And this would change so many things, It would start to change our culture, the way we look at parenting, the way we look at everything. Everything needs to happen. Give the self-employed access to statutory shared parental pay. To see childcare subsidised from 6 months old. Yeah! We have the most expensive childcare in the world. The TUC last week reported that the cost of childcare has risen 4 times faster than salaries since 2008. It makes no sense. Why would we stop parents from working? We're caught in this class war where people can't afford to work, people can't afford not to work when they have children. So we're creating enormous problems. Not only do we need to subsidise childcare, we need to subsidise it properly. At the minute, the Tories are subsidising childcare from 3 years to 30 hours a week, but they're giving such little money to the nurseries that nurseries are having to close their doors. They're closing their doors left, right and centre. The staff are being paid an absolute pittance, and that means our children are getting substandard care. And while the parents are living off cupboard crumbs because they can't afford to have childcare. Nobody is winning. It makes no sense. So we want to see childcare subsidised from 6 months old.
Thank you so much for coming out today. You look really scary. Really scary. And I'm so pleased that as well as people here today, we've got mummies marching in Belfast, in Cardiff, in Glasgow, in Manchester and in Newcastle. And I hear that Pregnant Then Screwed has managed to collect together more mummies than the British Museum. So a huge thank you to all that you're doing. And of course, unlike the mummies in the British Museum, we have got a voice and we are going to be using that voice. Because we know it is wrong, quite wrong, that 54,000 women are pushed out of work each year. We know it's wrong that 1 in 5 women experience harassment at work during pregnancy, maternity leave or flexible working. It is quite wrong that 1 in 10 women are discouraged by their employer from attending antenatal appointments. You know, it's been 18 months since the Equality and Human Rights Commission lifted the lid on what's happening to mothers up and down the country. And it's an outrage that in all that time, our government has done nothing. So we are here to demand change and to demand it now.
Absolutely no free time together in one place. And they gave us half term for getting the costumes ready. There will be briefings circulating in Parliament this morning. morning, the women are meeting again. Didn't they already get the vote? We did already get the vote, and there was nothing inevitable about us getting it. The suffragettes dared to believe in themselves as equal to men. Next year marks the centenary of that first crucial step towards equality, and 100 years later, we are here to finish the job that they started. And that begins with parenting, because work and care are two sides of the same coin. We may have opened up work for women, but we haven't done enough to help with the responsibility of caring. Good drumming. Governments of the last 40 years have promoted women into the workplace to help us compete in a globalised world without giving us cover at home. They have turned welfare into workfare, and for many mothers it feels like warfare. Because when women enter the labour force, the inequality that they experience goes with them. It doesn't go away. Women are more likely to be in positions with lower salaries, with less chance of promotion, and the areas where we work, lower status, lower pay. And that makes it impossible to negotiate motherhood in the workplace. So we are stuck as women between two worlds. One is organised for families, parents at home, expensive childcare, short school days. The other puts a premium on long hours, a sign of commitment, of leadership potential. And what happens? We drop out of the workplace. Fathers drop out of their families. It is not fair. It is not equal.
Because they fear you're going to have a child.
Yeah.
Family is at the core of flexible working, not just 2.4 children. Family, boyfriends, girlfriends. A boyfriend who doesn't want to become disengaged from his girlfriend because he wants to become engaged. We're talking about a woman who sees herself as family. We're talking about people who happen to have children. We're talking about people, and we're talking about putting humans above business, but for business benefit. How does it not make sense to empower your employees to work harder for you? I think the biggest thing I want to say today is that it was Sir Ian McKellen's great-great-grandfather who in 1846 pioneered the 2-day weekend. He said 6 days is not right. He called it barbaric.
I wanted to talk specifically about how being pregnant for me was a positive and a negative experience. I'm a mother. I have 2 children, a daughter who's 7 and a son who is 3. When I first got pregnant with my daughter, I was overjoyed. This is what me and my husband wanted, and I felt a thrill at the prospect of being a mother. But soon after, the anxiety kicked in. How do I tell my agent? How long can I cover up my pregnancy before my bump shows? Will I ever work again? And if I don't, what's my backup plan? I'm a freelancer, so I pretty much have no job security. Luckily, I do have a supportive husband, but he is also a freelancer, so we rely on each other financially. I had to admit to my pregnancy before I was ready because I suffered from extreme morning sickness called hyperemesis, which you probably heard because Kate's got it. So I went for an acting job, I did a good interview, and a few days later this casting director called up my agent and asked if I was pregnant. And I told him, no, I'm not pregnant, even though I was 3 months pregnant. I blatantly lied. So I told my husband, who said, you have to tell them. Sooner or later they will have to know. So 5 minutes later I called up my agent and said, yes, I actually am pregnant. But my agents were great. They have continued to be supportive, and supported both my pregnancies. But the change happened right there. I lost that job straight away. 2 other auditions were cancelled as a direct result of being pregnant. I was adamant that I could still work well into my pregnancy once I got over my sickness. Then finally a job came through for a lead role in a film, oddly about mothers and daughters, called The Arbour. The director, Clara Bernard, wanted to see me even though I was pregnant, and I got the job. I filmed the job while I was 7 months pregnant. The director scheduled her shoot so we could get all my scenes done in the first 2 weeks, and then she found a way to film around my bump. I will never forget that experience. Not only did Clara value me as a worker, I valued myself.
We are here today to defend our rights, to make sure that the rights that we deserve as women are not taken away from us, that we can access those rights, and that we are not discriminated against for having children. This government is not a government that is friendly to women, and we need to keep the protest up, and we need to let them know that we are not going away and that we will keep demanding the rights that we are entitled to. Employment rights rest here at Westminster. In Scotland, the SNP, we are doing all that we can to support women. We are making sure that we have a working group to tackle maternity discrimination in Scotland, and we are challenging these things wherever we can. And in Scotland, you may have heard, we are bringing in a baby box, so every new baby born in Scotland will get a box full of essentials to support people in the very earliest days. And we don't do that because it's a nice thing to do, although it is. But we do that because we value every baby being born. We value every family, and we want to support them as much as we can do. Because we must value children in society. The government across the road there does not value women in society. This is a government that says you can only have 2 children. 2 children's your limit, or you won't get tax credits for a 3rd unless you can prove you've been raped. What kind of government does that to women?